Hey guys, so I'm back with a bridal makeover. You might recognize my beautiful friend Lexi. I did her engagement makeup and now I'm doing her bridal makeup. So I'm starting with just some moisture. I have some little eye pads from Pixie and I'm using embryolisse lacrim concentrate classic makeup artist moisturizer all over her face. And I'm also going to make sure to prime her for her big day because it was going to be a long day. I think I did her makeup around 12 and the day would end around 10. So I'm using the Fenty primer. It's like a blurring primer, and the Urban Decay All Nighter in the center of her face. I like to use two because I concentrate the more anti-shine one in the T-zone where she's oily, and everywhere else it kind of just makes her skin super smooth. So once I'm done with that, I go ahead and move to her eyes. I'm using this new Smashbox lid primer for deeper skin tones, and it's like the perfect light brown shade to nude off the lid without looking ashy. So I'm letting her eyes moisturize while I do this. Then I'm using a palette from Natasha Denona. It has like the perfect colors in it. It's got like this orangey brown that I'm using as a transition shade, and then this beautiful chocolate brown which I'm using to contour the outer edges of her eye. As you can see, it's starting to build up and it looks really good with her skin tone, these warm brown colors. On her lid, I'm applying a base first. This is from Laura Mercier, her Caviar Sticks. I'm going for a gold sexy smoky eye, which is her request. So I like to lay down a creamy base first so that way the gold really pops, and then I blend it out really good. And this just kind of goes with her skin tone and it just works beautifully. So I'm using some pigments, like gold pigments on the eye as well. So this is making the gold pop even more. And I'm going in with a little bit of MAC Reflex Gold Glitter. It's super subtle, but as you can see, the eyes are already shining like more intensely. I'll go back and add some more later on. Now I'm just continuing with the eyeshadow blend, making sure that everything is seamless. I'm adding a little bit of bronze to the center of her lid as well, just to kind of transition that gold into the brown. Okay, so you can see, this is a silicone brush, more glitter. This glitter is so fine though that you just need, like, it doesn't really look tacky, it looks subtle. Alright, I'm smoking out her top lash line with a little eyeshadow. And then I'm moving to her brows. I'm using Stud Brow Pencil from MAC, keeping it really natural, just filling in her brows a little bit more. She doesn't like a super beat brow, just something that like is kind of sculpted. Then I'm concealing around her brows using a lighter shade underneath her brow bone. This is Graftobian Warm Cream Palette, the foundations, and then I'm using a skin tone shade above. I set that brow bone with like a nude shade of eyeshadow from the Natasha Denona palette, and then a teeny bit of gold in the highest part of the arch just for a little bit of lift. Okay, a little bit of clear brow gel to lock those brows in place using a really cheap mascara. I think this is like the Great Lash from the drugstore. Now I'm adding inglot gel liner to finish off the liner. So I put that black kind of, smudge shadow first, and then I'm defining the line with this inglot gel liner, and I'm really going into the corners to really give that sexy kind of like kohl lined effect. And then for her lashes, she always tells me that her eyes look super sleepy with false strip lashes. So I spent a long time. I use individuals. I place shorts up to the middle and then medium length to the ends, and then I use these trios from Kiss to bump up the volume on the edge. And I do think that this gave her a dramatic lash without the heaviness of a strip. Letting that dry, and I'm moving to her face. I'm using Eve Pearl Salmon Concealer underneath her eyes just to kind of cancel out any darkness. My favorite OG color corrector, especially for dark circles. Yeah, I can put that around her face as well, just to kind of hit any discoloration, such as around her mouth. Now I'm going with my beloved Demissa Myricks Vision Cream Cover foundations. I thinned them out just a little bit with the moisturizer, just so that they're not so full. But I'm doing a very like it's like a paint by numbers right here. I did light in the center, kind of medium right outside of it, and a really deep on the perimeter. So that way she has a really gorgeous, naturally highlighted and contoured effect. And I'm using a very brand new blender sponge that I give her. I don't reuse blenders anymore on my clients just because of COVID. But I'm just blending everything in and make sure the lighter tone just erases into the medium tone, and the medium tone erases into the deep tone. So as you can see, it's all starting to really blend together beautifully. I'm a huge fan of these Danessa Myricks Vision Cream Cover foundations, especially on deeper skin tones. I'm still trying to get the neutral shades. I just haven't sprung for it yet for my kit, but I'm using the warm pack right now. So yeah, you can see they're really blending it in. They're all thinned down with moisturizer, so it's not like super heavy coverage, but just enough. Okay, so once that's all nice and blended, I'm going to go ahead and set that with powder. Using Laura Mercier Honey Translucent in her center. I love the golden tone on this. And then on the perimeter of her face, I'm using NARS Translucent Powder in Mountain, which is seriously stunning on deeper skin tones. Like, it's so flawless. So I love using tinted translucent powders, especially on deeper skin tones. I think it just looks really, really healthy. And I'm using these patting motions, especially in her T-zone underneath the eyes, wherever it creases. So that way the powder really, really settles in there. As you can see, I'm hitting the perimeter now with that darker powder, Mountain from NARS. And then I'm going to go in and start contouring and bronzing. I'm using, for the first time, the Beauty Bakery contour palette. I learned of this from Jordan Liberty, and it's actually kind of got a shimmer to it, but it's a lot more natural looking than a flat bronzer. So that's kind of bringing back that warmness to the contour. And now I'm using a warmer bronzer, again from Beauty Bakery, from their Brownie palette. And that's adding a little bit to her cheeks. I also use from that same like little trio the orange blush. On her nose, I'm doing a natural nose contour using a sculpting powder from MAC Pro. I don't do anything crazy because she likes glam, but she doesn't like, you know, all that extra. So now I'm adding that blush, that orangey blush. It's so pretty. I love an orange blush on deeper skin tones. I also highlighted her cheekbones with a gold shimmer from that same Brownie palette. Then I completed her eyes with a little kohl, a little smoky lash line, and the camera cut off, but I did a brown nude glossy lip with some brown MAC chestnut lip liner and some Juvia's Place glosses and Viseart lipsticks. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Ren, thank you so much for doing my makeup for my big day. I feel beautiful. Thank you so much for making sure today was so special.